everyone! Welcome back. This is my introduction video for this next series of videos I'm going to do called Back to the Drawing Board. And this is number 1, and its title is Reassess. So I'm going to put 2 videos in this little series. Hopefully I keep it under 30 minutes. It's sort of an intro into why I'm doing these this way. That first series of videos was like, my first test run, basically, and I've mostly been sharing this with people through Facebook, so I have like a practice audience. Thank you to all of you who are actually listening to these and taking it in. And the second little video I made, I took kind of a break because I was like, I gotta slow my roll. I gotta figure out a better way to communicate and get my information better together, get my life better together. So I did that, and I'm ready to put some more out until the next, whenever I gotta take my next break. But anyway, this other little video I made that I'm gonna include in this one, this video is like 2 parts. Hopefully I keep these both pretty short, but it's like a 10-minute video. I made it on 4th of July, and I was gonna post it and be like, guys, I'm taking a break. So in that one, the tone was a lot more humble, and I was really, expressing gratitude for the people that I was spending time with at that time. And it was 4th of July. I had a great day with my friends and their kid, and I watched it and I was like, I can't quite do that as the intro to this series because, while I do want to be humble and while I do want to express gratitude for, everyone in my life has had a net positive impact on me. I'm just going to say that, right? Like, so that's one thing, right? So I'm trying to express that. Now I have this whole theme that I'm going to introduce to this whole work I'm doing, which is, gratitude and tough love. And so this one is a bit more tough love, and this is now another reassess. It's August 25th, so it's, pretty much 2 months later than when I made that one. And so anyway, here it goes. The weather again is kind of setting the tone. I've been a little on edge all day because I really want to get this tough love solidified for people, because while I do love all of you, and that's why I'm trying to do this, that's why I'm trying to tell you what's really going on, and that's why I'm trying to find the people who are strong enough to take this in and band together and really, I don't want people, I don't want to give my personal attention to people who are, and I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm not saying there's people in my life that are really like this, but I shared this on Facebook and I got some comments and they were great and they were fine, but it just made me realize, if people aren't willing to help themselves, if people aren't willing to look at this information, I'm not trying to just catch up with people and be like, hey, you guys are so great, whatever you're doing, stroke your egos and stuff. I'm trying to come back to people that I've known in my life with this message and be like, hey, what do we do about this? Can you help me? Can I help you? Can I help you improve yourself? Can we lift each other up? I'm not trying to stay back in the past and be interested in things I used to be interested in. People should kind of get a sense by now that I'm not the same person I used to be. And it's fine. I mean, I'll always have that core Kelly-ness about me, but that I love to share with everyone, and this is different. I'm not messing around. This is serious, we have to do something about this situation, and I'm trying to gather people that can help me in some way. I would love to interview, some of my friends eventually on my channel, who we talk about this stuff, we talk about the real things going on in the world, So anyway, reassess. Here it goes. I'm going to read what I wrote and then reflect probably as I go. So I wrote, I've been struggling with myself the last couple days and losing motivation to even put these videos out. Part of me knows I have to do it just to get on the same page with myself and get closer to my own understanding of myself. I find myself constantly frustrated that I don't have enough time to do all the things I want to do. I can't help but think most people feel this way. I want to do something and speak out about the tyranny going on in our world. I don't want to endlessly search and learn about conspiracy theories. I know there are people out there that do that. Not only do I want to contribute my voice to all the people sharing their experiences and understanding of the slavery and of government and tyranny, I want to work on myself and become the best version of me that I can possibly be. I hope by doing that, I can encourage others to do that too, especially young women. And I should just say young people in general, really, I'm going to make an effort to try and get this to as many college kids as possible, like college age kids, because yeah, I know where they hang out. I went there. I went to, CU Boulder. So, and I think I can really help a lot of young women really, really come to understand themselves and help build them up and understand what they're doing here so they don't get manipulated, because they're going to be one of the main targets of the manipulation coming up here. It feels impossible at times. I want to speak up using social media and the internet to spread my message and that of other truth speakers as wide as possible. I also feel like I'm trying to constantly keep up with everything. I feel I spend a lot of time planning and doing and a very small amount of time just being. Yeah, it's frustrating, right? Like, I go on Facebook, I see a lot of people, having fun with their lives, Colorado people, which is great and good for you. Keep doing that. And I'm over here like, okay, can we do that and focus on this, And that's why I'm like, I try to get outside and do these videos, because at least then I feel like, I got to be in nature. Like, this shit takes a lot of effort, you guys. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just trying to be real. Most of the things that people are researching, learning, and trying to share with others in the category of conspiracy theories are actually conspiracy facts. Facts. The things the government and secret societies are doing to keep humanity down are real and verifiable facts. For example, fluoride is added to most city water throughout the world. Fluoride is an active ingredient in rat poisoning. I'll link an article about this and an article from the I'll link a scientific article about this and an article from the Associated Press. So 2 articles addressing this. Clouds with chemicals and heavy metals are sprayed into the sky to dull our human capabilities. They call this geoengineering or climate engineering. You can just go on Wikipedia. They're open about it. And they say that it's done to control the weather patterns and reflect the sun's rays back to prevent further warming of the planet. Warming, right? Since when was it a good idea to block the rays of the sun? Don't we need the sun on our skin to grow? Don't we need the sun's rays to grow our food? Everything feels very fragmented to me and always has in my life. The people I work with and for are not the people I live with and depend on for food and shelter. My close friends and I don't often make time to be with each other physically. I have a lot of positive influence on a lot of people, and I have my whole life. I want to try and bring it all together somehow, which is why I've been so focused on getting this message out. That's partly why I got a little impatient with, I'm not going to name names or, single people out, but with my family member on Facebook who commented on the most recent post I made about sharing my videos and getting the word out about how messed up the world is. This family member commented, right, on this post I made about how I'm going to make more videos and try to keep spreading this message. I have to admit, I did not respond to her comment in the best way. But I was trying to dish out some tough love. I'm not satisfied just telling people it's fine what they're doing to their bodies and what they're participating in. And I should say what they're allowing and ignoring. I recently joined a community of people online who are trying to come together and think for themselves. It was put together and led by a man named Benny Wills. I'll link all his information in his old YouTube channel, and he was part of a group of these guys they're called JoyCamp, and they do these great videos that basically use humor to show people what's really going on in the world, and they're excellent. He's put a lot of content about truth, freedom, and conspiracy onto the internet. He recently made a video that I'll link titled "Why I'm No Longer a Conspiracy Theorist." That's the title, Why I'm No Longer a Conspiracy Theorist. His main point is that instead of getting isolated and depressed like he used to about all the conspiracies going on to bring humanity down, he decided to focus on bringing himself and his family up. He helps many people, especially men, do this themselves. His idea is to bring together a community of like-minded people online so we can build each other up and support each other in our entrepreneurial and self-improvement endeavors. Benny isn't just trying to bring anyone together. He's focused his attention on free thinkers who want to become better communicators and help others. He's focused on helping other driven people who have something to say, like me. Right? I'm trying to get across that the main struggle I have and have always had is how to prioritize my time. That's why when someone on Facebook says, "You just need to use the phone and call me," or "You just need to live your life," I wonder if they even watched the videos I made, read the information I put together, or listened to what I had to say. I'm not going to prioritize my time on people who aren't going to make an effort to watch a 30-minute video of me bearing my soul in the most real way I can, then tell me the solution is just to call them on the phone. I'm not trying to put anyone down. It's just frustrating, and I have to get this off my chest, okay? I love you guys. Like, even this family member who made this comment, like, I love you. It's just, you need to know why I'm frustrated about something like that. I would tell them the same thing. Meaning on the phone. If we were to talk on the phone, I would tell them the same thing. They need to do the work themselves and take in what these truth speakers and seekers are saying. I've honed it down to the most quality and best people that I've found doing that, like Konrad Rogoz and Dan Alexander. And I created a personal relationship with Konrad and Dan by reaching out to them and truly taking in what they had to say. Right? Like, when I reached out to them, I was like, I listened to what you had to say. And it was profound, and I want to connect with you because I want to help you, get out what you're trying to say and then also do it myself. That's my point. You don't just get to, I'm going to prioritize communicating with people who are going to build me up and push me to be better, not people who are going to hold me back, ignore what I'm saying, then make a comment that took them 5 minutes to write about how I need to call them. No, you need to get a hold of me. You need to keep my attention by proving to me that you're actually taking this information in. Otherwise, we'll end up talking about things that aren't important, and I'll get frustrated. Besides people who actually care and actually want to listen to what I have to say, and this is a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people on the phone. I'm busy. That's my point. I'm very busy. And, a lot of friends and I have profound conversations, and I'm not over here like all these friends of mine have watched all my videos and they worship me and all this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, make some effort if you want to talk to me, I'm going to prioritize my time for people who build me up and who already understand what I'm saying and who are working to improve themselves. And specifically, I would like to spend more time with young people and children, and especially young women. I need to build them up and communicate to them that there is a better way to do it, and we can and should do things differently than our parents did. Our parents and most of the baby boomer generation thought it was good enough to just stick their kids in public school to be indoctrinated by the state, then send their kids to college to be indoctrinated some more. I'm not trying to put anyone down. This is just real. Who do you think runs the schools? It's the government. Why do you think the government would do a better job raising your kids than you would? Okay? That's the point I'm making. Like, you're perfectly capable of raising your children. I know many competent, good-hearted, wonderful people who put their kids in public school, and even people who know what's going on who have to put their kids in public school because they have to go to work. You know, so I'm just saying, like, we've all been ignoring this, and I'm kind of making a point to the baby boomer generation, because now, you know, you guys are all retired and you're trying to have fun and you're trying to enjoy your lives and you're trying to get attention from the younger generation to come help you with this stuff. And it's like, well, you should have thought about that, you know? You should have paid attention to what was going on. And you can still, like, there's still a chance, you know, but I'm not just going to let you ignore this anymore. Now, since they worked their whole lives, they're trying to just travel and have fun and enjoy their lives while completely ignoring that the world is burning and that their children and future generations will have to live in a hell that they helped create through ignorance, you know, basically. But my whole point is that we don't have to make it a hell. We are the ones who make it a heaven. We can't just vote for someone to fix things. And I'm trying to ramp up this message because the elections are coming up and I don't like either of these people. I'm not for Kamala Harris. I'm not for Donald Trump. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, Kamala, a woman president. I'm like, just because she's a woman doesn't make her any less of a tyrant. If someone thinks they have if someone thinks that they are allowed to and deserve to be in a position above you to tell you what to do with your life, that makes them a tyrant. I don't care if they're a man or a woman. So no, I'm not for Kamala Harris just because I'm a woman. You know, I'm not for Donald Trump just because, like, I have some conservative values. You know, it's all garbage. Stop. Don't vote. Stop it. You know? I'm sorry, guys, that I have to have this tone, but it's like I'm frustrated and I have to get this out. We can't just vote for someone to fix things. We have to fix them. This is my whole point. I honestly don't think I will reach a lot of the older generation with this message, but those of you that this does reach, those of you that they take this in, I do need your genuine help. And look, I'm not trying to be all mean to the baby boomers. A lot of you guys help me, like my family and, you know, people I work with. Like, you're part of the baby boomers. Like, you guys have helped me a lot. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to be quiet about what's going on, okay? So, you know, it's not like I'm going to be mean and you know, I alienate myself or anything. It's just like, I'm tired, you know? I need your genuine help. I'm not interested in just calling you up to rehash all the things we've wasted our time on. I'm interested in talking about real solutions. Again, the people I really want to talk to are the young people, because we have the best chance to make this right. The main thing I want to tell young people now is that you are totally responsible and in charge of your life. Most of the adults in your life have lied to you because they didn't know any better, but it's up to you to direct your life, team up with your friends, and build yourselves up. Don't waste your time voting for someone to save you. Don't waste your time thinking you're only valuable if you go to college or get a job. Make your own work. Make yourself valuable. Make yourself unbreakable. I shouldn't say make yourself valuable. You are. Meaning that build up your skills like I'm doing so that, you know, you could work for yourself. Like, you could totally do that. You don't need to go to college to get a job and make your way in the world. Like, take advantage of that opportunity, fine, but just know that you're inherently valuable, you know, even if you don't go to college and you don't get a job, like, but you can build yourself up. There's plenty of ways to do that. I can help you with this, but we need to talk. I went through all the same things you're going through, and I'm here to help you sift through the BS and let go of all those stupid stories you were told about how to live that aren't working for you. So whoever wants to help me with this, help yourselves, build yourselves up, then call me. My number is 970-749-6409. I will prioritize talking to who I want to talk to based on what I have said here. In other words, just because you go, yeah, Kelly, you need to call me. Again, I'm not trying to put people down. It's just like, I'm going to talk to who I want to talk to, okay? No one's going to guilt trip me into talking to them. Not saying that's what this person was trying to do, but just in case you were, it's not going to work. And to anyone else who's thinking about that, it's not going to fly. So this is the second part of this. I'm going to expand on these topics in future videos, but I might as well introduce them here. First, I want to talk about geoengineering or climate engineering. This is the intentional manipulation of cloud cover and climate, mostly by, or I should say weather patterns, climate, same thing, by injecting aerosols into the atmosphere through airplanes. When you see an airplane leaving contrails, that is not water vapor. Many times you will see commercial flights without anything being left behind on the same day under the same atmospheric conditions that you will see a non-commercial flight spraying heavy metals and chemicals into the sky, supposedly to prevent climate change. Keep in mind that often the people doing this for a paycheck don't really question what they're involved in. I will link this website titled Geoengineering Global, because the so-called scientists and people involved in this have it all planned out publicly. Of course, they are going to make it sound like we have to do this for the good of the planet. And I would say, just use your common sense. Why would we try to alter nature when it works perfectly the way it's supposed to without human intervention? In other words, why don't we just live with the consequences of our actions? If supposedly human beings, en masse are somehow altering the climate, which they've stated themselves, the scientists in government and these programs doing this, they're trying to alter the climate. So they're saying, you guys, human beings, on a mass scale, through industry and driving your cars and stuff and trying to go out there and work and scrape together a living for yourselves, you're altering the climate, but we're allowed to alter the climate. So, first of all, why would we alter nature when it works perfectly the way it does? Meaning that, okay, let's just suffer the natural consequences of that then. Let's not then go and mess with it more. Why would we try to block out the sun from reaching our planet? Why would we use harmful heavy metals to do that? Here's a quote from the article I will link from Geoengineering Global. Is stratospheric aerosol injection currently feasible? Stratospheric aerosol injection is feasible with existing technologies. It could also be implemented in a very short period of time and at a relatively low cost. Because stratospheric aerosols naturally fall out of the atmosphere, the benefits/effects of this approach are temporary, generally lasting between 1 to 2 years. Doesn't sound very temporary. It is considered relatively safe for the environment because volcanoes have been injecting sulfate aerosols into the atmosphere for eons, and the biosphere naturally processes sulfate using multiple pathways in the sulfur biogeochemical cycle. Okay, so they're comparing naturally occurring phenomenon of volcanoes putting sulfate aerosols into the air to now human intervention, which is way longer lasting, obviously, because their whole point is that human impacts on the planet are, almost irreversible. So wait a minute. So you want to put more human impacts on the planet, but you're going to compare it to a naturally occurring phenomenon. Like, how many volcanoes are there putting sulfates into the atmosphere? Okay, just use your common sense. Read this shit and read between the lines. Besides sulfate, other reflective aerosols that are being considered for the solar radiation management approach there are other aerosols, they're saying, and they call this solar radiation management, right? These aerosols include black carbon, metallic aluminum, aluminum oxide, and barium titanate. Okay? So think about that. Aluminum, barium, okay, particles into the sky on a regular basis. Just go outside and watch these so-called contrails every so often, and you'll start to see this. Now, okay, that's happening at a regular rate, funded by the government, obviously. Now, what happens when the rain falls? That goes into the soil, that goes into our drinking water, that goes into our food, that rains down onto us, okay, in the atmosphere. We basically take it into our bodies. Now, I'm not saying go be some fragile little flower and be all scared about this. I'm just saying, you're tough, we can handle it. Humans have been handling this for decades now. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. But I'm just saying, pay attention. If you think these people have your best interest at heart, they're actively trying to poison you, okay? And it's verifiable, you just have to read between the lines. Now I want to introduce the topic of our intentionally fluoridated water supply. Again, just like with geoengineering, they are going to make it seem like there are benefits of adding fluoride to the water supply that is already naturally occurring, and that the toxicity level is so small that it doesn't make a difference for human health. First of all, why do you need to add fluoride to the water supply in the first place? They say it's for the teeth and it's for your bone health. Well, okay. Human beings, we're natural creatures and we live on this natural planet. It should be all working together naturally. Why do you need to add that stuff? Okay, why? Cavities, prevent cavities. Stop eating sugary garbage food. Go check up on your teeth once in a while. Get rid of cavities. You think that just by drinking, if the solution to cavities was just drinking fluoridated water, why are dentists still in business? Okay, use your head. This is from an article titled An Evaluation of Neurotoxicity Following Fluoride Exposure from Gestational Through Adult Ages in Long Evans Hooded Rats. At elevated levels, fluoride exposure has been associated. So they did the study on the effects of fluoride on rats. Which fluoride wasn't originally a active ingredient in rat poisoning. And you go online and look for it now, and they say, no, it was never an ingredient in rat poisoning. Okay, why are they doing studies on rats to study what effect fluoride has on rats, right? Why? Just ask yourself that. You don't need to come to any conclusion, but just be curious about it, right? In rodents, fluoride exposure has been reported to induce deficits in motor performance and learning and memory. Okay, this is rats. Think about what it does to humans. Many U.S. public water systems add fluoride to finished water as a preventative against dental cavities, with a U.S. Public Health Service recommended water fluoridation level of 0.7 ppm parts per million. Under the Safe Drinking Water Act, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency set the current enforceable upper concentration limit at 4 ppm in drinking water derived from sources with naturally high fluoride to prevent skeletal fluorosis. Okay, so they're saying the highest, recommended parts per million is 4, and they're saying the current fluoridation level is 0.7 parts per million. I'm saying, okay, we can't have it too high because we want to prevent skeletal fluorosis. Why put it in there in the first place? If it causes skeletal fluorosis at any level, then think about, they're like, okay, 0.7 parts per million. That's all it is. It's fine. It's not toxic enough to really affect humans. Now, think about ingesting that every day, how much water you drink a day. You're supposed to drink 1 gallon a day, they say, throughout your entire lifetime. The secondary drinking water standard is 2 parts per million, and systems distributing water around this level are required to notify the affected public. The EPA proposed a reference dose of 0.08 milligrams a day for protection against... Okay, so they recommend 0.08 milligrams a day for protection against dental fluorosis and skeletal fractures. Why would you put it there in the first place? This is equivalent to a daily dose of 5.6 milligrams for an adult and 1.6 milligrams for a child. Studies examining associations between drinking water fluoride and neurological deficits or dysfunction have generated concerns for human exposure. Yet they're still doing it. Studies of sample populations in fluoride endemic areas suggest an inverse association between high levels of naturally occurring fluoride in water and intelligence quotient. Meaning the intelligent is, if it's inverse, the intelligent quotient goes down the higher the fluoride is. However, the level of confidence in these conclusions is low. Oh, really? So now we're going to read from another study, and I'll link that one. And finally, I'll link this article from the Associated Press. This is a recent one that a friend in this group of mine shared with us. U.S. government report says fluoride at twice the recommended limit is linked to lower IQ in kids. The report, based on an analysis of previously published research, marks the first time a federal agency has determined with moderate confidence that there is a link between higher levels of fluoride exposure and lower IQ in kids. So now they have moderate confidence that there's a link between higher fluoride levels and lower IQ level in kids. Okay, think about what I'm always going on about the kids and the young people. Like, we're leaving them this totally garbage world that we've all helped create, so we got to do something about that. While the report was not designed to evaluate health effects of fluoride in drinking water alone, it is a striking acknowledgement of potential neurological risk from high levels of fluoride. Fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. Again, we're supposed to be living these natural lives as natural creatures. We're supposed to evolve with the environment around us, but, we didn't, because this kind of BS has been going on for centuries, where human beings were not allowed to evolve naturally because other more intelligent and cunning human beings have been putting their foot on most of humanity for all of our existence. So we didn't evolve naturally, but we're supposed to live here naturally. We belong here. We're supposed to be here. Creation loves us. Nature loves us. It doesn't love what we're doing to it currently and what we're doing to ourselves. So why do we need to add this extra bullshit to supposedly strengthen our teeth? According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the addition of low levels of fluoride to drinking water has long been considered one of the greatest public health achievements of the last century. Right, according to who? So I'm going to read these articles, and I already skimmed through them, and it's not going to take long. I know how to skim through the BS, so it's not like I went and underlined them. It's not like I'm going to underline them and take in every word, but I'm going to get the general idea, and that's all I expect anyone to do. It's not that hard to find this information, but you do have to think for yourselves and not refrain from trusting the so-called fact checkers who want to put you back to sleep. That's what those organizations are for. Maybe I'll address that sometime. Read between the lines. And of course, we should bring this back to what we can do to improve our own lives based on having a healthy skepticism of what the government and their henchmen are telling us. Stop drinking tap water. I get filtered spring water in gallon bottles because I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, but you can find filtered water in many ways. I'll get into that later. Get plenty of sun, and most of all, sun, right? Most of all, don't be afraid. Build up your body and mind. Eat healthy. Get exercise. You are a human being, and you are tough and capable of all those things. Finally, don't waste your time and energy and stress yourself out about voting. Just don't do it. Most of what we have to do to protect ourselves from these attacks and build ourselves up is simply to pull back our energy from garbage and put our attention into healthy things. I met a woman hiking the Colorado Trail. I wasn't hiking it. I met her as she was on the Colorado Trail, who spent years in the military, and this is her first year not voting because she saw the manipulation going on. If you do these simple things and take care of yourself instead of relying on big daddy and mommy government or complaining to others, you will start to respect yourself way more than you ever have. When I stopped voting, it was a huge relief, and I respected myself way more. When I learned about chemtrails, I saw clearly and became motivated to build myself up and become a fighter and help those around me to do the same. Speaking of becoming a fighter, I have been doing martial arts for the last year, and I have an amateur fight coming up to hone myself even more. If I can do all of this, so can you. Maybe I'll link the guys I've been practicing martial arts with. They're awesome, and they're excellent men, and I love them, And they're helping me to build myself up. This is my point. We have to get stronger, not weaker. I'm not going to give my time and attention to people who are going to make me weaker. It's just not going to happen anymore. And the reason I'm stressing listening to these men who are real and strong men, like Konrad, Dan, and Benny, is because listening to the vibration of the voice of a conscious person who cares enough to tell you the truth will build you up. We become the information and vibrations we take in. So if you listen to strong people with an open mind and heart, you will become strong yourself. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. Kelly. Right? So that's my point. That's why I've been getting in contact with these people. That's why I've been trying to make quality relationships and healthy relationships and friendships with all of these strong men, and women, and I do admittedly need to focus on teaming up with women more. And I want to invite more women and get them to come to my martial arts class so that men and women can work together to build each other up. And I'm going to get into that more because men and women have been pitted against each other and manipulated since the dawn of time. And currently, they're trying to do that as much as they can with young girls in this whole Kamala Harris garbage. And I do not like her one bit. Let it be known that Kelly Fuge does not support Kamala Harris. She does not support Donald Trump. Kelly Fuge supports herself, and she builds herself up, and she builds up people around her. So I love you guys. Thanks for listening to that. I hope you made it through. And yeah, listen to this and call me, and we can talk. I'm not mean. I'm not scary. I'm not going to put you down. I'm going to build up the things that you're doing good, and I'm going to tell you the things that you're doing that are not good for you, because I love you. So that's all for now. Love you guys. Mwah. I'm going to do, here, let's just do a quick walkabout. Why not? We're here. This is one of my hiking spots. Let's go look at Boulder. Oh yeah, on top of the world. There's north, east. I live over near that area. South, Boulder. I'm coming for you. Coming for the college kids. I'm gonna turn them all into anarchists. So, mwah. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Hey everyone, I'm back. So, I got lucky on the topic of water fluoridation because I really wanted to introduce the topic of fluoride being added to the drinking water in this video to give an example of the government actively poisoning us to drive home the point of tough love. And I'm in luck. It's a bit of dumb luck because I have to admit I did wing it a little bit. Just, I know I did introduce it, but yeah. But my intention was to get into it later. I'm in luck because my friend Konrad Rogoz just did an excellent video episode on his channel, This Week in Tyranny. I'll link it, obviously, because that's the point of me making this, on the topic of water fluoridation, and he is way more thorough than me. He did it way more justice. Maybe I shouldn't be winging it so much, but at least now I have your attention, so I can direct everyone to his video, and like always, it's superb. He cites multiple studies and as always does an incredible job. And some things I want to emphasize are that he touches in this video, and I just watched it. It's really early in the morning, and I was like, well, I'm trying to get this video out. I have to include this, and it's like perfect timing. So I have to mention that he gets into this, that fluoride itself is a waste product, and they just came up with a reason to use it, basically, so they could sell it. And it's a neurotoxin. And they began fluoridating the water in the U.S. in 1945. So it's been going on for a while. And he does an amazing job tying it all together. So please go watch that. Not please, just go watch it if you actually care, and look at the articles I cited and look at the information the videos that he cites and the studies that he cites. And I'm going to look into those too. And then call me about it. That's what you can reach out to me about, okay? That's what I want to talk about. Yeah. So, thanks for watching this. See you in the next one. Go watch Konrad's video. I'll link it. I'll link all this stuff that I'm talking about. So, thanks everyone. Have a good Monday. All right. See you later.